Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of building the 180Sx. If my camera would stop shaking, thank God. Sorry. Welcome back to episode 2. In this episode, we are going to be installing the rear subframe onto the car, and then we're also going to be assembling most of the rear components for the car, like the rear knuckles and like all the other stuff I took off the car to get them clean and painted and everything. You'll see that. Sorry it took me so long to upload a video because I had outside forces affecting my upload schedule. I will try and upload every Sunday, at the latest every Monday if I can. It all just depends on when parts come in, when I'm able to work on the car, and if I don't have anything affecting me working on the car. But yeah, installing the subframe onto the car, assembling most of the rear components, and let's get into it. Okay. So, this is what we have going on for the rear subframe. I will show you the rear subframe soon, but it's what we have going on. We have a set of Pro Series control arms from ISR over here. We have a set of Gktech Solid subframe bushings that we're going to be installing. These are the axles, that's the sway bar, and yeah, these are the parts we're going to be installing on the rear subframe. If you guys recall from the other video, the rear subframe, when we cleaned it up, it had a lot of rust on it and it looked ugly, terrible, just ill. So I went ahead again after the video, throughout the course of the week, I wire brushed it, cleaned it up, painted it. So now we have a de-rusted, clean, good looking rear subframe. So that's the subframe. And then let me show you what else we did. The rear knuckles, we went ahead and cleaned them up a bit. Same thing as the subframe. De-rusted them, tossed a coat of Rust-Oleum ultra matte black paint over them. So that's how they turned out. Same thing for the dust shields. We went ahead and cleaned them up, painted them good. I did the same thing for the rear calipers because I was like, why not? I stopped halfway through because I'm like, who's going to be seeing the rear of the calipers? It's just the front of the calipers anyways. And then same thing for the sway bar. There we go. And then the axles. So these axles look semi decent. These are the same axles that came off the car. I took them to a shop and they were saying that they were still good and everything. So what we did was that we de-rusted the parts that looked all ugly and everything, tossed a coat of black paint over them, and then we threw what is that? It's like a little protective coating over the rubber to make it look semi decent and everything. But yeah, that is all the parts that we have for the rear subframe, and let's get into it. Oh, one more thing. So I will admit defeat. So I had bought a set of clamps from Harbor Freight to try and press these bushings out, but as you can see, it didn't go well. It started coming out and then it didn't go well, so I admit defeat, and I'm just gonna buy a press later on this week and we're gonna press out all 4 of these bearings. Then once we do, we're just gonna clean them up. The hubs, no one's gonna see them, so I'm just gonna leave them as is. They're gone through, they're still good and still clean. I don't know if you can see for this lighting and everything, there's partially no rust, just a little bit of surface rust here and there, but nothing a wire wheel can't handle in a matter of seconds. So yeah, that's it. So let's get into the assembly. As you guys just saw, I just assembled the rear knuckle assembly for the passenger and driver side. So then what I did next is I went ahead and just did an eyeball adjustment for all the arms. As you can see, I tried getting it as remotely close as possible. That's for the toe arm. This is the other arm, as you can see, close as possible. I do see some people changing these out, or like I've known people who changed them out, but I don't think I'm gonna change them out because I don't see the reason to. But hey, when we start assembling and it doesn't seem to fit, then I'll change them out, because they do include the smaller ones, but I'm like, why change them out? But we'll see. And then for the upper control arm, this one was a bit difficult. I tried my best to get it as remotely close as possible to the OEM one. So when the car is on all four wheels, I'm probably going to get the car towed to my nearest alignment shop. Nearest alignment shop and get these aligned. So yeah, let's go. Guys. So this is what we have going on. I have the subframe on the floor. I placed them on some foam mats because I don't want to scratch up the paint. With the sway bar, I did buy a set of bushings from Energy Suspension. They were performance polyurethane bushings that I went ahead and purchased for this entire car. I already went ahead and replaced the coupler bushings that go on the sway bar, and the end links, I went ahead and replaced those bushings as well that go on the end of the sway bar. So from here on out, let's just get into it, start assembling, and let's go. So there are many methods into getting the bushings in. So I've got all three corners pressed in. I just have this one remaining bushing to press in. The way I found it easier is I had this hammer. It's like a clay type of plastic hammer where it won't do any damage to the bushing itself. So I just simply went ahead and did that. So headphone users, beware. So after using my sort of plastic clay rubber mallet, as you can see, no damage to the bearing itself, except for like little marks here, but that's just from this just chipping away. Now that I have the subframe partially up, I'm just going to install those two brake lines that we took off, the two 10 mils. We're just going to install them now while we have the subframe partially down. Then we grab the 10 mil. Okay, as you saw, subframe was quite a bit to tackle by yourself. One person. If you have two people, good. If not, it's going to take you a while. But yeah, it took me about like 20-30 minutes to finagle it in. What I noticed is that one side would want to go in, then the side would like pop out, so you have to like evenly like finagle it in here and there. If you do need a little bit of persuasion, I recommend using a rubber hammer or mallet. Do not use your purse. This is my neighbor's purse. Shout out to Ryan for letting me borrow this. But this thing comes in handy. I need to get one of these. But yeah, do not use your purse because it will bend the subframe and everything. But other than that, subframe is in.